Aw, animals.
Now that's reaching for new heights. All eyes in America are on a restless raccoon that scaled a skyscraper in St. Paul, Minnesota on Tuesday, and as of the production time of this video, has yet to come down. The saga began with the animal stranded on the ledge of a two-story building downtown. Maintenance staff tried to rescue it, but it scampered over to the high-rise next door. Next thing you know, Trash Panda is scaling up the side of the UBS tower like a spider ninja, and everyone is riveted. By afternoon, the little hairball had made it more than 20 stories up. People inside the building spotted it resting and grooming itself on a ledge. Since a rescue attempt might just spook the furry fella, Animal Control put live traps with food on the roof hoping to lure it up. But seems like Spider Raccoon won't be captured and has instead begun the long, laborious climb to the bottom. It's gonna be a long night. As the whole nation waits in silent agony for a resolution, speculation abounds as to why the animal pulled a King Kong. More than a couple have suggested that the raccoon is secretly Rocket, who can't deal with the heartbreak of Infinity War and maybe wants to make America Groot again. There's even a fake fan account on Twitter complete with an elaborate backstory on how the critter got into its current predicament. Whatever it turns out to be, let's all just say a prayer, keep fingers, toes, and everything else crossed, and hope that raccoon makes it down safely. Here's more raccoons.
Teen shoots to internet fame for befriending family of raccoons. It's not easy being a raccoon. Food can be scarce, and when nature's cupboard is bare, what's a hungry bunch of raccoons to do? Luckily for a gaze of 5 raccoons in Seattle, they have a friend in 18-year-old Kayla Lynn, an aspiring singer and devoted feeder of raccoons. Lynn's bond with them began back in August of 2016, when a lone raccoon came by her home in search of food. The teen opened her fridge to the raccoon with offerings of bread and gave her the name Rosemary. Aww. After a while, Rosemary the raccoon started showing up with a few family members. Apparently, word of free food travels fast in the wild. And before long, Lynn found herself providing dinner for the hungry critters every night at 7:30 on the dot. The relationship was quick to catch fire on Twitter, garnering 22,000 retweets after Lynn's pics were posted on December 28th. While this friendly feeding may seem harmless, others looking to befriend raccoons and other wildlife would be wise to keep in mind if raccoons get used to showing up at your door for handouts, it may hamper their foraging skills in the wild. Anyone offering food should probably only do it once in a while. Otherwise, the raccoons may not be so friendly the day you forget to leave their meals out.
Raccoon rescued after getting stuck in a sewer grate. Living the American dream. Shopping, shooting, and who can forget? Eating. The US has gotten so gargantuan that even our animals are fat. Last week, the Zion City Police Department received a call about an animal in distress. Apparently, the raccoon, which we'll call Fats, has been living the life. Unfortunately, Fats hasn't hit the gym lately, so has put on some pounds. And that's why when Fats was trying to get out of the sewer the other day, he got stuck. Officers were first on the scene and were unable to get Fats free, so they had to call in some public works guys to get the job done. Maybe it's all the gluten in Fats' diet.
Raccoon decides to take the subway to work. Subway riders in the Big Apple had a little surprise last week when a pet raccoon hopped along for the daily commute. It looks like a woman was carrying the 4-legged strap hanger in a black bag and jumped on an Uptown 6 train. Video was posted by Brooke Hogan and then reposted again on the @SubwayCreatures Instagram account, where it quickly went viral. The clip shows the ring-tailed bandit calmly hanging out with the woman and eating out of a plastic container. What's the weirdest thing you've witnessed on the subway? Raccoon freed after getting head stuck in drain. A raccoon found itself in a bit of a tight spot after a too tiny sewer grate got in the way of freedom. Folks at the Veterans Affairs Medical Center in Northampton, Massachusetts, chanced upon the critter on Wednesday and figured he needed a hand. The little guy's head was poking out from a hole in a sewer grate, and he looked absolutely distraught. So an animal control officer was called in to help him get unstuck. She lifted the metal grate out first, and then with some elbow grease and actual grease, finally managed to free him. The furry fellow looked like he was still reeling from shock when the officer wrapped him in a towel, but he was uninjured, just probably a lot oily. But sweet freedom.
Is this the beginning of the end? Residents of an Ohio town are seriously spooked after raccoons in the neighborhood began exhibiting some very strange behavior. One man was with his dog in broad daylight when he spotted a raccoon approaching. It stood on its hind legs and bared its teeth before collapsing into a comatose state. It got back up moments later, but the man didn't stick around to figure out if it was rabid, undead, or something else entirely. Smart. Police reported receiving 14 other complaints in Youngstown over 3 weeks, and have put down all the animals, which were likely suffering from distemper and not rabies. Distemper is a viral disease that causes coughing and seizures in raccoons and causes them to lose their fear of humans. Pets and other animals may be infected, so it's best to steer clear of any weird critters, though it's at least not transmissible to humans. Let's just hope it stays that way. No one needs the Walking Dead at their doorstep. The world is stressful enough already.